happy. A heaven will make thee all lives and love we give unto thee. With heart and soul we'll build our nation proud, strong and free. We love her, hold her dear to our hearts for eternity. Let truth and right our banner be. We'll march ever on. Mighty will make her. Long may she prosper. God grant her leaders wisdom and grace. May glory and honor ever attend her. Firm shall she stand throughout every age. With heart and soul we'll build our nation proud, strong and free. We love her, hold her dear to our hearts for eternity. Let truth and right our banner be. We'll march ever on. Let truth and right our banner be. We'll march ever on.
Thank you very much, Sister Roxy. Again, let me take this opportunity to welcome you all here, to welcome those who are viewing and are listening, viewing via the various media methods, and to those of you who are listening in as well. Before we get into it, would like to call Sister Everly Bradley to invoke God's presence for us before we start. Mrs. Bradley.
Let us all pray. Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6 reminds us to trust in the Lord with all our hearts and lean not unto our own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct our paths. And so, God, this evening, as we are gathered here for yet another evening, dear Father, and as we navigate through this election season, may the candidates seek your will, your guidance, and your direction with the full knowledge that God is in full control. May they depend always on you for wisdom and understanding. In a charged environment where anxiety, fear, uncertainty, conflicts, and slander abound, may your servants whom you have called to higher service for the common good of all remain calm and temperate, acknowledging that you, O God, are in full control. May they find peace. May the peace of God guard their hearts, O God, and their minds at all times. Lord God, as your word says in Isaiah 41:10, don't be afraid, for I am with you always. Do not be discouraged, for I am your God, who has promised to strengthen you, to hold you, and to make you victorious. Lord, let whatever is said and done here this evening redound to your holy name. May it be done with decency and order, acknowledging, O God, that you are always in full control. So bless us all this evening, O God, through Jesus Christ, our Lord and our Savior. Amen.
Make your vote count. Anguilla United Front. Yeah, yeah. Moving together, moving united. We prioritize quality education. Trusting way to better the healthcare system. GST relief to the people. Empowering all the young people. Watch way. Diversify the economy. If you're proud to be a beacon, follow it. We gon' tackle the crime and the violence. This is the time then to come out and
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, again, a pleasant good evening to you all. Good evening to you all from the District Number 3, Valley North. Let me take this opportunity to thank all of those, again, of you who are here this evening for this, another rally in support of the District 3 candidate, Mrs. Shelia Rogers Webster. I could remember 25 years ago, my first political presentation was made right here on this ground as well. This is not her first, but it is a very important one for us. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank the people of this district for giving me the opportunity for 4 consecutive 5-year terms in the House of Assembly. That says a lot to the commitment of the electorate here in District Number 3. I want to say to my people, this election on February 25th and 26th is the most consequential election in our lifetime. I want to thank the people in this constituency, and I want to wish them God's blessing and guidance in the upcoming election. You will have a choice because nominations are already in and it's closed. So the 2 candidates that you have in District Number 3 is Shelia Rogers Webster and Mr. Courtney Morton. I would want to say to the folks in this constituency that at the end of the day, you know who Shelia is. You know who Shelia is. And you know a number of the stalwarts who are not only supportive of me, but also my predecessor and Shelia as well. So before I get into the presentation, I would like for us to observe a moment of silence for all those departed stalwarts from District 3. I can think of Freeman, who recently passed. But when it comes to politics, and when it comes to District Number 3, Valley North, Vernal Wunchi Richardson, let us give a moment of silence for him. A moment of silence for a true political stalwart, not only throughout Anguilla, but specifically in District Number 3. A moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. May his soul rest in perpetual Peace. Peace. My fellow Anguillians, let me say up front that District 3 Valley North, there is no need for us to be freed. We were always free. And if Brother Courtney wants to stick with these catchy phrases, because remember last election it was 5 votes, 5 votes. So if he's talking about free District 3, I would want to remind him that District 3 was never ever in bondage or enslaved. Never.
Review your ballot to ensure that you have only 5 circles.
And if we in District 3 were in shackles or we were enslaved, Brother Courtney and the APM will not be able to free us from that bondage. They don't have the capacity. And they're not capable of dealing with District 3. And we really and truly want to thank you, the voters in District 3, for your commitment over the decades and the different individuals there. And I want to say, if Courtney, as the advisor to the Premier, as the advisor to the Minister of Health, the advisor to the Minister of Finance, wanted to free the people in District 3, he should free all Anguillians, not District 3 alone, because, and I'll deal with that a little later, based on his advice, is one of the reasons why they would have gone back on their political promise and implement the GST, which would have put us in shackles over the last 5 years. So don't talk about freeing District 3. Talk about freeing the Anguilla people. We got to put the people first. Put the people first. And a lot of the folks in District 3, the voters in District 3, are offended by that slang, free District 3. Those things won't work anymore, my brother. They won't. And I'll come back to Courtney a little later through this. As I mentioned earlier, this is the most consequential election in our lifetime. We cannot afford to take 5 more years of this inept APM administration. Therefore, I want to be abundantly clear. I want it to be crystal clear. There's no mud in this. This is clarity. We want it to be clear. Because when you go to the polls on the 25th and 26th of this month, it is clear in terms of your voting. In District 3, on the district candidate side, you have 2 individuals, 2 symbols. Courtney Moulton, the boat, and Shelia Rogers Webster, the beacon. It is up on the screen. And on your right-hand side, if you look at the screen, you have the at-large candidates. Our symbol, the Anguilla United Front symbol, is the beacon. And that is what we want you to circle on election day. You don't have to look for McNeil Rogers. You don't have to look for Kyle or Jose or Jason. Please look for that symbol, and that symbol is the beacon. So you can vote for the district candidate and 4 at-large candidates. There it is on the screen. Please, there is no need to mix and match. There is no need to go and vote for Shelia and Neil or vote for Shelia and Jose. we need to vote for Shelia and all of the Anguilla United Front candidates with the sign, the beacon. That's what it is. There it is. That is what I want to impress upon us, because it is important for us to be able to move this country forward, and we cannot do it without you. Now, Christ died for sinners, and we all need forgiveness. You and I would have known what we did in 2020. Let's put that behind us and look forward. So, I want to emphasize, come election day, I want you all of our supporters, to be able to go out and vote for the Anguilla United Front. It is your responsibility. It is our responsibility to make sure that on election day, we sink that boat right in the harbor. And the only way we can do it, is if we go and we vote right. And voting right is voting the beacon for the district, along with all 4 candidates for the at-large seats. That is what I am asking you. That is what I'm pleading to you for. That is the way we're going to save our dear beloved country from these individuals that would have been at the helm for the last 5 years. There's no doubt. I don't have to remind you about the pain. They talk about yes to progress. We all believe in progress. But who is progressing? Are you progressing in your daily lives? You have to make that choice. But at the end of the day, whether it's white envelopes that are given around, whether it's promises that are given around, they probably will last a day after the election. And the individuals who you would have voted for the APM, if they get the opportunity to get back, they wouldn't care one thing about you going forward. I will touch a little more on that a little later on. But I want to remind you that at the end of the day, the onus is on you, the people of Anguilla, and my people, our supporters, the Anguilla United Front supporters. I do not want you to be mixing and matching or to just go and vote for one individual. I am emphasizing this because it is important. It is the only way that we can get rid of this APM administration. So I am appealing to you to do the right thing and vote the Anguilla United Front. We have a number of speakers this evening, including your humble servant. And we have to move on. So I'm going to invite the next speaker, who is actually the leader of the Anguilla United Front and the first female premier of Anguilla, the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, our leader, the Honorable Cora Richardson Hodge. Cora Richardson
Make your vote
Hodge.
count. Anguilla United Front. Yeah, yeah. Moving together, moving united. We priority is quality education. Trusting way to better the healthcare system. GST relief to the people. Empowering all the young people. Watch way. Diversify the economy. If you're proud to be a beacon, follow it. We gon' tackle the crime and the violence. This is the time then to come out and vote. 45 beacons, come out and vote. For the
good night, good night. District 3, good night. Hello, yellow. Hello, yellow. Good night, good night. Thank you for coming out in your numbers to support our District 3 representative, the Honorable Shelia Rogers Webster.
Hello, yellow.
Hello, yellow. And our 4 island-wide candidates, the Honorable Kyle Hodge, the Honorable Jose Vanterpool, Mr. Jason Bryan, and Evans McNeil Rogers. Tonight, fellow Anguillians, there are some matters that are weighing heavily on my chest that I have to talk about. And they weigh heavy because I've come to the conclusion that we have a lying, deceiving party which now sits in government, the APM government. And they're doing everything that they can to continue to lie to the people and deceive the people, all for the sake of winning another election. In fact, the school children are now saying, that they are strangers to the truth. Strangers to the truth. So let's talk about the airport expansion project, for instance. And I brought tonight 2 sets of manifestos from the Anguilla United Front, 2005 and 2015 and 2020, and both of them speak about the airport expansion project. The vision of the Anguilla United Front is being carried out today. Did you know that in 2004, the Anguilla United Front government of the day expanded the airport at that time? Did you know that? They expanded it from 3,600 feet to 5,440 feet. And did you know that the land that the member for District 6 is currently clearing is land that was acquired under the then Anguilla United Front? Did you know that? And did you know that a court battle started under the then Anguilla United Front in relation to the same land, and that court case was finally resolved during this administration? Did you know that? And did you know that the tower, the fire hall, the 3 fire trucks, Love, Hope, and Peace, were done under the Anguilla United Front? Did you know that? So I raise all of this to say that it is clear that the APM today is only following through on the plans laid for them by the Anguilla United Front. It is in writing. There is evidence. We can prove it. So tell me, why is it that this government, in order to win the next election, is going around telling people that if the Anguilla United Front wins, that we would stop the airport project? That's our project. That's our vision. So we thank them for following through on the vision of the Anguilla United Front, not just in relation to the airport project, but so many other projects that were started have been continued under this administration. They were present for the ribbon cutting, but it's the vision of the Anguilla United Front that put it in place. And when you hear the lies and the fear-mongering coming from this government, you just have to shake your head. Now, people may ask, okay, well, if it is, that was the Anguilla United Front vision, then why didn't the AUF implement it? Well, for two simple reasons. But the primary reason is that the money being used to build the airport today is taxpayer dollars from the goods and services tax, the GST. And do you remember in 2020 that this government campaigned against the GST? They said that they could not implement it, they would never implement the GST. And so today, all of the programs that they're implementing has an element of the same GST that they said was bad. That they took to the polls and said to the people of Anguilla, do not vote for the AUF because they will impose GST. And look now today, they're bragging about all the things they're doing using the same GST money. When this administration took office, they met a number of projects that were already in play. They met the redevelopment of the Morris Vanterpool Primary School. They met the redevelopment of the Albina Lake Hodge Comprehensive School Campus Q. They met construction being done to the hospital. They met the new Valley Clinic. They met the new clinic in South Hill. And all of these projects were ongoing during the time of elections in 2020. But were we so bad-minded, so devious to campaign to the people and say that if they were elected, they would stop the projects? No, because we are a responsible party and we understand that government is continuous. So just like we will, when we get elected on February 26, 2025, and we take office, we will continue the airport project. We will continue the airport project. Because not only was it the Anguilla United Front vision, we have seen through these 5 years that the APM has no vision of their own. In fact, if you listened to the House of Assembly during the budget debate, 2 of their ministers of government, the Honorable Quincy Gomes-Marie and the Honorable Hayden Hughes, read from our manifestos. For hours they read from our manifestos, bragging about what they put in place, which was our vision. But you know what it said? I sat there and I smiled. Because I said, you know what? Thank you. In fact, the Premier turned to Hayden Hughes and said, maybe we should pay the AUF for their manifesto. Maybe we should pay the AUF for their manifesto. What does that tell you? Our vision. So much so he was offering to pay for it, but you can't pay for it because we ain't selling it to you. But they took office, they continued it, and when we get into office, we will continue on our vision. And so, the Vivian Vanterpool Primary School, the Adrian T. Hazel Primary School, Aurelia Kelly Primary School, Alwyn Allison Primary School, all of these schools had additional construction of classrooms under the Anguilla United Front. The Blowing Point Ferry Terminal, the monies had already been secured under the Anguilla program, £60 million grant, not a loan, a grant that was secured thanks to the hard work of Honorable Mr. Victor Franklin Banks as Minister of Finance and Mrs. Blondell Clough, who was the Anguilla overseas rep. And from those monies, all of these projects that we've spoken about was done under the Anguilla United Front. So when this administration says that they have done the most development, 'tis a lie. 'Tis not true. and you have to correct them whenever you hear them say it. Let's talk about Senior Shield and Junior Shield. The lying APM government says that if elected, that we will stop Senior Shield and Junior Shield. Another lie. Let me say this. The Anguilla United Front supports every initiative which benefits the people of Anguilla. Every initiative. Because we believe in putting people first. But just like how this APM lied about GST and tried to instill fear in the minds of people, so too they are trying to instill fear in the minds of people in relation to Senior Shield and Junior Shield. Let me ask you, how many AUF supporters, how many AUF candidates, how many AUF elected members have family members who are over the age of 70 and who are benefiting from Senior Shield today? Every single one of us has a family member that benefits from Senior Shield or Junior Shield. I do. So why would the government say that if elected, we would essentially cut off our nose to spite our face? It doesn't make sense. What we will do is we will improve on the half-baked Senior Shield program. And I say half-baked because when our senior citizens go to the doctor, they go to a government doctor. Listen to me now. They go to a government doctor who writes a prescription. So the government has doctors employed by them. You go to the doctor as a senior citizen for free, you don't pay, and then they give you a prescription. But what do you do with it? You go to the doctor's pharmacy, to the government pharmacy, and they don't have the prescription, right? So where you gotta go? You gotta go to the private pharmacies. Now tell me, if the government doctors are writing prescriptions, should not the government pharmacy have those prescriptions to fulfill? Should they not have the medicine? They should. Because you're moving from one to the other within the same organization. So tell me then, why do our people have to go to the private pharmacies and pay full price when this government is bragging and saying that they have a Senior Shield? It needs to be covered. And so the commitment of the Anguilla United Front is to ensure that a Senior Shield that is in place does what it's supposed to do. It won't be half-baked. It will be fully baked. And when you hear this APM administration telling all kinds of lies on the campaign, it is time, fellow Anguillians, it is time that you tell them to shut their lying mouths. It's time you tell them, you've been quiet for too long. You've been quiet for too long. You've been scared into not speaking out. You've been hushed. You've been threatened. You've been condemned. Living in a dictatorial country for the last 5 years. But now you can speak your mind. Tell them how you feel. Fellow Anguillians, there's one more issue that I want to touch on tonight before I leave this podium. And that is that we have some wolves in sheep's clothing walking around this country. But let me start by telling you this. The Anguilla United Front is fielding a slate of 11 candidates strong. Fielding a slate of 11 candidates strong. There is no mixing and matching. Not now, not this election. We voting straight down the line. Straight down the line. So when you have people with different colors coming around to you and telling you that if they get elected, they're going to walk with the united front, telling you that although they're wearing one color, they're really carrying a yellow color, tell them to get lost. We don't have any agreement with them. We don't. We have a slate of 11 candidates strong, and we are running every candidate. 7 island-wide, 4 at large. We don't want them. We don't need them. We're not mixing and matching. And so, I want to end tonight by highlighting the slate that you, District 3, will go to the polls and mark your support for. The island-wide slate, Honorable Kyle Hodge. Honorable Kyle Hodge stands on business. He is a man for the people. He stood on principle. And he jumped from a leaky sinking ship and swam in dark waters until he saw the beacon, the bright light of the beacon, the bright light of the beacon that guided him safely to shore. And when he came to shore, he met us, welcoming him with open arms. He is a strong member of the Anguilla United Front, and we are proud to have Kyle Hodge with us. Then we have the Honorable Jose Vanterpool, a visionary, a man of deep intelligence. His thoughts and ideas will leverage Anguilla in specific areas that he has specialized skill. With our .ai domain name and our IT internet technology. And he, with his support, he will assist the Anguilla United Front. He, as a part of the Anguilla United Front, will move us forward with ensuring that we create additional revenue in that particular area. And then we have Mr. Jason Bryan. Everyone loves Jason. Everyone loves Jason.
Hello, yellow.
He walks up and shakes your hand and they say, I love Jason. He don't even talk yet. I love Jason. But when he speaks, Jason is humble. He is intelligent. He is qualified. And he represents an Anguilla United Front which recognizes that we embrace all cultures here in Anguilla. He is one of us. And he is firmly rooted in this country. And so we are proud to have Jason Bryan on our slate of island-wide candidates. And last but certainly not least, the Honorable Mr. Evan McNeil Rogers. You don't even call him Honorable. You don't even call him Honorable Rogers. Mr. Rogers, you call him Neil. You call him Neil. You need help, you call Neil. And today, 5 years after Neil sat as Minister of Health, people still call him to assist them in matters in relation to health. And as far as we are concerned, Evan McNeil Rogers was the last true Minister of Health in Anguilla. The last true Minister of Health. There was no one else. The last 5 years has been vacant. Nothing significant has happened in health. And Sunil is back. He never really left. But he's back tonight. He's back in your district. He's back on this platform. He's back with the Anguilla United Front. And he is the 4th Anguilla United Front island-wide candidate. But I want to end by especially recognizing our Lady of the Night, the Honorable Mrs. Shelia Rogers Webster. Shelia entered the political arena at an unexpected time in 2022. And today, all of Anguilla, not just you alone in District 3, all of Anguilla loves Shelia. She is capable. She is a warrior. When she says something, she means it. And at the same time, she is caring. She is humble. She is ensuring that she puts the people of her constituency first. And as a minister of government, Honorable Shelia Rogers Webster will put all of Anguilla first. The Anguilla United Front, Slate, every member of the Anguilla United Front believes in putting people first. That is what we stand on. That is what we deliver. That is what we will deliver to the people of Anguilla come 26 February 2025. So fellow Anguillians, residents of District 3 have no fear. We are here for you. And so on election day, we ask that you be there for us. Vote for the Anguilla United Front. Vote for the slate of candidates. Vote Shelia Rogers Webster in District 3 and all 4 candidates island-wide. All 4 candidates island-wide. May God bless you. May God bless Anguilla.
Make your vote count. Anguilla United Front. Yeah, yeah. Moving together, moving united. We prioritize quality education. Just in way to better the healthcare system. GST relief to the people. Empowering all the young people. Watch me. Diversify the economy. If you're proud to be a beacon, follow it. We gon' tackle the crime and the violence. This is the time then to come out and vote. The fight becomes, come out and vote. For the AUF.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, come out and vote for the AUF. And as our leader said, there are a lot of folks around here, sheep in wolf clothing, telling you all sorts of stuff. These folks are so dangerous and devious that they would have mentioned that the Honorable Shelia Rogers Webster and I, prior to nomination day yesterday, we have a squabble about who is supposed to run in District 3. And I remind some of those individuals that I won Courtney Moulton in 2020 by about 41 votes. In 2022, according to Mrs. Everly Bradley, Shelia washed him out. And you think that I would be so out of my mind to go and run against Shelia in District 3? she would wash me out too. So I'm saying to the people in Valley North, you don't have to choose between me and Shelia. You can vote for Shelia, you can vote for me, you can vote for Kyle, Jose, and Jason. That's the slate we are voting for. Before I go on, it missed me during the opening to recognize some of the stalwarts of the Anguilla United Front. I want to recognize the former chief ministers, the former chief minister Osborne Fleming, who is sitting up at the right. Anguilla, thank you for your service. We thank you for your service. And the young people must realize the type of sacrifices that you all would have made during your tenure. Osborne Fleming sitting there. And I'm sure that next to him is the Honorable Victor Franklin Banks. We thank you for your services. We thank you. And I'm sure that the Honorable Kenneth Harrigan is somewhere around in the crowd. And we thank you, Mr. Harrigan, for your services. So when the APM talk about their achievements, and Cora just mentioned that the achievements that they are bragging about was started, the foundation of those achievements were done by the Anguilla United Front, Osborne, Bunton, Kenneth, and myself.
Hello, Yellow.
That's what it was done. They are here. So we want to thank you. We want to thank you. My fellow Anguillians and the electorate, I just want to share a story with you. Earlier this week, I met a civil servant who said to me, and civil servants, we love you all. Love you. A civil servant who said to me, Mr. Rogers, the APM increased our salary recently. I said to that individual, how did the APM increase your salaries? She said, yes. I said, look, there was no salary increase for civil servant. The last salary increase was in 2007 and 2008 under the Anguilla United Front. I explained to that individual that the global crisis in late 2008 and 2009, a responsible government reduced not only the parliamentarians and ministers' salary, but they reduced the civil servant salary as well. And the health authority at the time, their salaries were reduced. But I'm going to talk about that a little later. So I said to the civil servant, but how much they give you? He said, well, we're getting much more than what we had. I say all they did was to reinstate the 2008 salaries. That's all they did. And who was in office in 2008? The Anguilla United Front, not the AUM or APM. And I can very well remember both Osborne and Victor and Kenneth, we decided that if the country is doing well, we should be able to award those who work for government. And we didn't have any .ai money. Now we didn't have any GST money. It was real economic growth between 2001 and 2008. Real growth. Imagine if we had the .ai and GST at that time. Imagine where Anguilla would have been. So I want to publicly thank those stalwarts for the job that they would have done. They're talking about roads. Under that administration, the road from Albert Lake go right around to Island Harbor. We cut down Sile Hill and all to make a road. These folks, right around, you name it. And I mentioned all up through North Side, True Eyes and so on, roads were paved. All over this island, roads were paved. Chief Fathers, you name it. Kenneth paved all the roads and didn't pave the road to his own house. And if these guys who are in office now had cared about the people of this country, the same roads that we surfaced 20 years ago, they would have resurfaced them again because they're not in good condition anymore. Not in good condition anymore. On a different note, I was reliably informed because I haven't listened to the clip as yet, that the former Speaker of the House of Assembly, Barbara Webster, at a meeting in Island Harbor, I believe it was sometime this week. And Barbara, I've been around the block and I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I was reliably informed that she would have mentioned my name and she would have mentioned a number of other things in her presentation. And she would have said something to the effect that I am the minister or was or is the minister of Brugal. I'm going to listen to the tape and I'm going to respond to the rest of it. But let me put this in context for you. I want to tell Barbara this. Listen very carefully. Here's the backdrop. The former Speaker would have contested elections in Island Harbor, I believe on 2 occasions, at least 2 occasions. And the folks up there would have rejected her at the polls. So for her to get in the House of Assembly and being Speaker of the House, she would have had to sing for her supper. And maybe she is still singing for her supper. During my time in the House of Assembly, I would have had David Carty as the Speaker of the House. I would have had Barbara Webster as Speaker of the House. I would have had Roy Rogers as Speaker of the House. And I would have had Terry Harrigan as Speaker of the House. Here's what I want to tell you. I could very well remember David Carty coming to the House of Assembly and asking the members of the House of Assembly for permission for him to be chairman of the Renewable Energy Committee. That is decency, that is integrity. Asking the parliamentarians. And while the speakers of the House, while they are nominated by the majority in the House, of course the government, they have a responsibility to be impartial. You would have listened to Barbara over the last 5 years. You make the judgment whether she was impartial or biased. You make it, not me. And we're talking about integrity. I would challenge Barbara that she and we are going to run for 2 ministerial portfolios. I will run for the Minister of Brugal. Definitely. And she will have to run for the Ministry of the Fishing Processing Plant Documents. That is her ministry. And mine would be Brugal. And the papers for the ministry of Brugal can be found from the freight forwarders, from customs, from ASPA. The papers for the ministry of Brugal will be found from the freight forwarders, the brokers, the customs, and ASPA. There is no need for police recovery. You don't have to send the police for me. None whatsoever. So if there is a different process, if there is a different process for the ministry of processing fishing plant, who do we go to for the papers? Or who do we have to send the police to recover the papers? Who? And if there is a mix-up with those papers, who knows the other mix-ups that would have taken place and at what cost? Who knows? So, when we come back and ask you to vote for those two ministries, you will have to decide whether you want to vote for the minister of Brugal or the minister of the fishing processing plant's documents. My fellow Anguillians, we have to move on. Our next speaker is none other than a young man, the youngest elected parliamentarian, I believe, in the history of Anguilla. A man who is well-versed, a young man who has this country at heart, a young man who could have gone anywhere and demanded what he wanted. But he came back home, and we got him involved in politics because we saw the potential that he has. A man that can help any government move forward in terms of putting people first. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the Honorable Island-wide member, Mr. Jose Vanterpool.
Make your vote count, and we'll a united front. Yeah, yeah. Moving together, moving united. We priority is quality education. Trust in way to better the healthcare system. GST relief to the people, empowering all the young people. Watch way, diversify the economy. If you're proud to be a big gun follower, we gon' tackle the.
Good evening, Dublin North. Good evening, District 3.
Bye. If it's one thing that I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna start off by saying, I'm proud to be an island-wide candidate because when it comes to district by district representation, I understand why Shelia has the pride that she always showed up with. Because are you District 3 people don't play? Valinat, are you know how far are you make me walk a thing and no parking? Valinat! Hello, yellow. Lord, one thing I love about I too, and you got no behavior, and I say that unapologetically. I love you for it. So, good evening, Valinat. good evening, District 3. And I want to say a special good evening to the people from Island Harbor to West End. And I will just be very clear, I'm going to be very short tonight. We have to deal with certain things. In the last election, our people, Team AUF, had one fault. And I will blame us, the candidates, for not getting out there and addressing it ahead of time. But it was the mixing and the matching. And you see the Honorable Evans McNeil Rogers, who just went down there. He tried to address it, but maybe we came too late. It was the mixing and the matching. But to the people of District number 3, I want to say thank you this evening. The reason that I ain't gonna waste your time and talk too much is because when you looked at the results, if there's one district that did not mix and did not match, Valinat had us locked down all the way. So my people, when I talk about vote all 5 lights, I know that is you who come up with the slogan because you been demonstrating that for a long time. The people of Valinat held us down not only in 2020, but they came back 2 years later in 2022 to lock it out again. And Lord, I say, I must have tired of us because we're here, but at the end of the day, we could put a car wash, a clothes wash, because we know the place washing out when Valinat come through.
Hello, yellow.
Hello, yellow. So to my people, I just want to focus. While I will say this now, it's not because I preaching to the choir, because I know are you writing the hymns, but it's because we got people in other districts listening, and I want them to pay attention and follow your example. That when you go out and vote, you're looking for the one beacon, that bright shining light of the Honorable Shelia Webster Rogers on the left, as well as the 4 island-wide beacons to the right. All 5 lights, Valinat. Now, to the people of Valinat, I also want the people of District number 4 to listen to me and listen to me very, very carefully. Now, we plan on shutting this thing down from Island Harbor to West End. We're going with as many seats, if not all of them. I don't say one are we going to have to go sit down in opposition because they have nobody over there in them benches. But I want to talk about something that is very, very serious. As I go around, I hear people saying, bye, Jose. You good. We ain't got to worry about you. You done clear. Bye, Jose. Kyle good. You ain't got to worry about he. Bye, Jose. Shelia could not wake up on election day and still win. And Lord, we know Jason and Neil, Lord, everybody feel like we all good. And here is what my one concern is. If all of you feel that we good, if all of you feel like you don't need to come up because your one vote don't matter, and if all of you stay home, the people gonna suffer and we're gonna continue for another. We are not going to let that happen. So, to everybody under the sound of my voice, even if you feel we good, you gonna make us great. If you feel we great, we gonna make us excellent because we need each and every one of you to come out and vote. And we ain't talking about just voting for Shelia, not just voting for me. We voting for all 5 beacons, all 5 lights. No, I feel a little bit good that I get off my chest because once you understand, when we bring home District 3 and we bring home District 4, you are the 2 districts that can bring home all 4 island-wide. That's not 6 seats. That there is done government. But at the end of the day, we ain't stopping there. Because I know district number 2 bringing Anguilla's first female premier in our honorable Cora Richardson Hodge. I know that District 1 don't want to see the doctor. So Mr. Clark Smith, Clive, where you be? Thank you for your son. Gonna be your next representative in District number 1. And let me tell you, Lord, Merrick Mabai, we serve on many committees, we cool. But at the end of the day, the people of District number 5, we know that while he is nice and while we love him, that Dave Van Cart is your next representative. In District number 6, there's nothing but licks that come in because Patrick Mardenborough is repenting for what he did last time and he's sending Hayden home. District number 7, I ain't even got to talk about Cardi. Not at all. Because Cardi in his district, Cardi returning as your next District 7 representative.
Hello, yellow.
So, the only thing that I want to emphasize before getting off the stage and the importance of voting all 5 lights is I have an immense, overwhelming warmth in my heart when it comes to the representative that is the Honorable Mrs. Shelia, your representative of District number 3. And let me tell you why she warms my heart. You would expect that when women in politics is not necessarily the overwhelming majority, that people would support women in politics, especially when those women are capable, have global vision and act upon it with a local heart, and they represent their people. But we have seen time and time again in the House of Assembly where they try to put pressure on her, but guess what? When you put pressure on certain people, it'll cause them to crack. When you put pressure on other people, it'll forge diamonds and you don't want to mess with that. And the people of Ballynot have a diamond in the Honorable Shelia. Not only is she strong, not only is she capable, but she has demonstrated time and time again that she is here to serve you, the people of her constituency. When we talk about not having constituency offices, not having constituency development funds, and the disadvantage it puts opposition members in Shelia's first year after being elected in a by-election, she might not have been ready in terms of expecting it then, but she was ready in terms of being prepared. Within that first year, she negotiated and now has a property to set up her own constituency office for you, the people of District number 3. I try to talk time and time again that there is no need for division amongst us, especially as leaders in the House of Assembly. I don't understand why government that like to believe that if you are not with them, if you're not in agreement with them, that you are against them and that they have to do away with you. Let me tell you something. Me and that Honorable Shelia, we're going to sit in the same room to deal with AUF matters. We're going to sit in the same room to deal with matters for you, the people of Anguilla. We're going to sit in the same room to talk about the debates for our young people. But at the end of the day, she going behind Aurelia Kelly and I going behind Maris Vanterpool. And at the end of the day, we going to support our young people. They like to talk about us, but even though we're in opposition, we don't have the resources they have. We don't have the money that they have. But at the end of the day, at every graduation, when IDEA is sponsoring, who's sitting down next to me? The Honorable Shelia Webster Rogers. Let me tell you something, little ain't much, but if you could rub it together, you could do a lot with a little. And let me tell you something, my people, Shelia has been exemplifying that to the point that, Lord, she make government look bad. She make government look bad. And as bad as people, I'm gonna share a quick story with you that the people of Anguilla don't know about, you know. It had a recent event where I got invited to speak to some school-age children. So no politics, you're just going to encourage the children. I didn't know that on that same day, Shelia also got invited to speak to the children. And so she spoke to the children, again, nothing about politics. But government, instead of being present, instead of being there for the children, instead of showing up, their response was, who invite Jose and Shelia, and let's put a policy in place to stop them from coming in. Lord, I'm sorry, but every time I think about that, it blows my mind, because how you mean that instead of showing up for the children, how you mean instead of you coming out and demonstrating and talking to them, your biggest concern is who invite Jose and Shelia. But let me tell you something. They're going to invite Jose and Shelia because at the end of the day, the teachers know that Jose and Shelia always been there. But he ain't just Jose and Shelia. I hear that we got some people walking around the schools in the East now and the children don't know who them be, but I could guarantee you them know who our Madam Leader is. People asking where is Cardi, but at the end of the day, West End School know who Cardi is. From District 1 to District number 7, they know who we are because we are there because we put people first. So my people, especially again, I want to remind that even though I'm here talking to the people of District number 3, I want the people from Island Harbor to West End to listen. We have 2 to 3 weeks leading up to the next general election, and what I will tell you is, we ain't got no more time for the long talk. We ain't got no time for the negotiating. What you have in front of you with the Anguilla United Front team is your next government and the people and the team that is prepared to not only put Anguilla first, not only put our people first, but to lead our people to the highest heights and their full potential. So my people, on election day, I want you to go out and vote the beacon. Hello, yellow, I want you to vote all 5 lights. So to the people of Valley North, the people of District number 3, I want you to lead the way as you did not only in 2020, in 2022, but before I was even born, because this district was always held on by the people of Valley North. And we don't expect anything to change this time around. You know you got a solid representative in who you got, and I ain't even going to compare the alternatives because I heard she is running uncontested. Team AUF, to the Beacons, I want to say I love you guys so much because I have been feeling the energy. You showed up and you showed out yesterday for nomination day. I want us to keep that energy going for the next few weeks and ride it straight into the general election and straight into government. Because let me tell you, when we went in there yesterday for nomination day, I looked at the benches and I looked at my seat and I said, oh shoot, I ain't going to be sitting down there this time. We're going over there, but I said, oh shoot, we're going with all 11 seats, so I might have to go over there and pretend to play opposition. To my Anguilla United Front family, keep the energy up, keep the vibes up, and continue to support your candidates, continue to pray for us, and continue to especially rally around the Honorable Shelia. Because let me tell you, come election day, we got a new government. Come election day, we will finally see what it means to put people first. Because we're voting for all the Beacons, all down the line. And we're going with all 11 seats. Thank you, Valley North. Thank you, Anguilla.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt the potential that these young individuals have. The emphasis and the onus now is on you to elect this entire team into office. On behalf of the Honorable Island-wide member, Mr. Kyle Hodge, he sent his sincere apologies. He was supposed to be on the podium this evening, but because of a family issue, one of his sons, he had to take care of that. And I know what it is when you are responsible, a responsible parent, and your child or children need you. So we'll keep him in prayer, he and his son, as we go along. Ladies and gentlemen, from this podium, I know there are a lot of individuals that are viewing and listening throughout the globe. But I want to make special mention of Mrs. Blundell Clough and to thank Mrs. Blundell Clough for the work that she has done with the Honorable Cora Richardson Hodge as minister, and at the time the permanent secretary, Chanel Petty Barrett, for the work that they would have done in terms of the Constitution amendments, constitutional reform. There is a template that is there. And I say that because in 2020, it was the first time that we had candidates at large. And that is a testament to the work of Cora as Minister of Home Affairs, assisted by the Permanent Secretary at the time and Mrs. Blundell Clough, the EU, UK, Anguilla's EU and UK representative. I want to thank her publicly, and we all Anguillians thank you for giving us this opportunity. And this is not trivial. We cannot trivialize this because it has given me the opportunity to be able to be an island-wide candidate. And I want to thank them for that. I want to thank them for that. My grandchildren, none of whom were born in Anguilla, they have a stake in this piece of rock, and a number of others, great-grandchildren and so on. And the constitutional reform is not complete. It was just the first phase that was done in 2018, 2019. We had a government in office for the last 5 years, and they haven't even attempted to continue with the constitutional reform. And when you hear the premier get up or sat down in a press conference and talk about you can become Anguillian by marriage, by birth, and several other methods, but it doesn't give you the right to vote in Anguilla, homeboy, you should go and look at the Constitution and try and amend it and see what you can do. Nothing over the last 5 years. Nothing over the last 5 years. And we embrace all cultures because Anguillians are all over this world, and all over this world in respectable positions and professions. And we don't need to be protectionists. We have to grow. Our population must grow, and we must be all encompassing. Encourage all of us from around the region and further afield. Our grandparents, they traveled to the Dominican Republic for work and return. Why should we try to keep them out? But I would say this. Personally, I have no issues with immigration. My only requirement is that if you come here, please don't be a nuisance to the law. Behave yourself. I have lived in other countries, and I carry that mantra with me. Our next speaker, again, all inclusive. Our next speaker, another young, brilliant, well-prepared mind. He is none other. Bilingual, born in the DR, raised in Anguilla. This is his home. Let me welcome on stage Jason Bryan.
Broken down and tired.
But
of living life on a merry-go-round. You can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Mountain, we gon' walk it out.
I may have to do some research, you know, boy. You may be out of the Michini, you know. Your jeans, those Bryans, them out of the Michini out there, you know. So you're a District 3 man. Yeah. They only West End, you know. Have to watch it. We got a lot of Bryans over there, you know. So I can do some research. So welcome home, my brother.
Good evening, my fellow Anguillians. I have to say this. Any candidate running against Shelia Rogers Webster must be regretting the moment they made that decision. Because District 3 is ready to give a complete Slate washout. Dominicanos, dominicanas, buenas noches. I am a proud member of the Generation Z. And I stand here tonight because the Anguilla United Front sees what others might miss. They see that new perspectives bring new opportunities. They recognize that the voices of my generations matters. That our energy and vision for Anguilla's future can't wait. And that's what putting people first truly means. Creating space for every voice. Embracing new ideas. Believing in the power of diversity. Because my generation sees things differently. We see an Anguilla where diversity makes us stronger. We see an Anguilla where your background doesn't determine your future. We see an Anguilla ready for change. Because this isn't just about being young. This isn't just about new ideas. This is about understanding truly understanding what it means to create opportunities where there was many challenges. When people try to put me in a box and labeled me as just the Spanish kid, I chose to break those boxes. When they questioned if I belong, I answered with actions. Working with our youth, building bridges in the communities, and preparing myself to serve. To every young person who have been told to wait their turn, let me tell you, your time is now. To every person who's felt like an outsider, you belong here. To everyone who dreams for a better Anguilla, we can build it together. That's why I left a very comfortable job in the hotel industry to be part of something that is bigger than myself. That's why I'm standing here tonight. My Dominican heritage and Anguillan upbringing taught me something very powerful. When you understand different perspective, you can create new possibilities. When you've had to navigate various worlds, you know how to open doors for others. When you have experienced both challenges and opportunities, you know exactly what the young people need to succeed. And that's exactly why I'm standing here tonight supporting Shelia Rogers Webster for District 3. Because like me, she believes in actions over word. She doesn't just show up on election day. She's been here, working in the community, making a difference every single day. District 3, let me tell you something. Shelia is no stranger to you. She grew up with you. She doesn't talk the talk. She walks the walk. She was raised in culture and raised by culture because culture is our people. Shelia has participated in several cultural exhibitions. And later on, she traveled abroad to prepare herself. To prepare herself academically and socially. But she came back ready to give back. She has been the forefront of community initiative. She leads by example, and I am looking forward to working with her when we win this election along with the AUF team. Tonight, I'm calling on my generation, our generation. It's time to make our voices heard. No more sitting on the sidelines. No more waiting for someone else to create change. Dominicanos, dominicanas. Me siento más que orgulloso por el apoyo que nuestra comunidad me ha brindado a lo largo de este proceso. Su confianza me fortalece y su fe me inspira. Hablemos con claridad sobre algunos hechos importantes. El Blowing Point Ferry Terminal, iniciado bajo el gobierno del AUF. El proyecto de la escuela secundaria, iniciado y financiado bajo el liderazgo de Cora Richardson Hodge. La enmienda constitucional que beneficia a los nietos logrado por Cora Richardson Hodge. En cuanto al programa de salud para los mayores y los niños iniciado por este gobierno, seamos claros, nuestro compromiso no es eliminarlo, es mejorarlo. Sin embargo, también debemos abordar la realidad que vivimos. Solo un pediatra en el hospital, falta de especialistas, escasez de medicamentos, familias con dificultades debido a falta de recursos por este gobierno. A nuestra comunidad dominicana, cuando te hablen de estos problemas, pide las pruebas. Cuando oigan rumores, busquen la verdad. Cuando prometan un cambio, recuerden nuestra historia. Juntos podemos hacer historia. Juntos podemos tener una voz verdadera. Pero una voz no es suficiente. Debemos usarla. Estamos en una encrucijada. Podemos aceptar el status quo o podemos exigir mejoría. La elección que hagamos hoy va a determinar el futuro de nuestras familias, nuestros hijos y nuestra comunidad. Luchemos por lo que es correcto. Asegurémonos de que las promesas que no se han hecho realidad se cumplan finalmente. So District 3, it's time to show up for real investment in youth development, true support for mental health, actual opportunities in technology and innovation, genuine pathways to leadership, sports and recreation that build community. So, on February 25th and 26th, a generation ready to rise up. We are a generation that has a voice in our homes, on social media, in our communities. We know how to make our message heard. So let's use the voice to effect real change. Generation Z, tell your parents why their vote matters. Show your grandparents why this election is different. Share our vision with your friends and neighbors. Spread the message of hope across every platform. Turn your social media into a force for change. Vote for Shelia Rogers in District 3. Vote for Kyle Hodge, Joseph Vanterpool, Evan McNeil Rogers, and yes, vote for a voice. Vote for me, Jason Bryan.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am almost lost for words. What a team, what a team, what a team, what a team. Let's hear it for Team AUF. What a team. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Whoa. What a team. What a team. There you heard it. Absolutely brilliant. The central message from all the speakers thus far, central message. When you go to the polls on election day, it ain't no mix and matching this time around. We need you to go out and vote for all 5 beacons. All 5.
Hello, yellow.
One in the constituency, one in each constituency, and the 4 at-large candidates. Central message. We cannot do it without you. Anguilla needs you to be able to put dependable people in government who will have your interests at heart, who will put people first, who will put people first. You know, I'm going to take a few minutes here before we bring on the main speaker this evening, just to highlight a few things, just to remind you, the people of Anguilla, people of Valley North, and the people of Anguilla in general, about an administration that has been in office for the last 5 years. I mentioned the issue earlier with respect to the speaker. And don't forget that the speaker and the premier, they were named in that fishing processing plant. They were named in it. So it is a part of the administration that he leads. And as I mentioned before, and on several radio programs, our Minister of Health, our Minister of Finance, and our Premier, our present Premier, has let us down. He has let us down. He has let me down personally, because I know from an academic standpoint that he is much more capable to do better for the people of Anguilla than what he has done over the last 5 years. And Brother Lorenzo, those forces that you have in your administration, they are anti-forces. You did a lot of physics, you did a lot of medicine, and you know that when you get two like poles, they repel. I am not sure that some of those individuals that you have in your administration are opposite poles that attract, but they are repulsive to you and your administration. Because it's difficult for me to believe that you would have spent more than 4 decades, probably 5, almost 5 decades, living in the United States of America. And I was very disheartened when I listened to a clip of you on a program when you spoke about the 501c3 facility. And Brother Lorenzo, you should know better. You should know better. You said that they probably wanted you to do something illegal or unethical by asking donors to the 501c3 facility to put a certain amount of money in that facility. You know better. And for my fellow Anguillians, the 501c3 facility was a facility that was set up with the assistance of a number of Americans who assisted us. It is a non-profit organization whereby contributors to that facility can claim them on their taxes in the United States. And Lorenzo must know, he knows better. I am not going to call him a liar. I am going to say he knows better. He knows better. Who wanted you? You got to tell the Anguilla people, who wanted you to request a certain amount from contributors? You know that's not the way that the 501c3 works, my brother. You know it. You know it. I know it. And they know it. And that facility was put in place, my fellow Anguillians, to finance a new hospital for this country. A facility built, fit for purpose. It was put in place to raise the funds necessary. We are a tourist destination, high price. We've got to be able to improve the quality of health care in Anguilla. And you have some of these detractors who will be saying, but you were Minister of Health, why didn't you do it? It is about planning ahead. It is not an easy portfolio to deal with. It is about planning. You must have a vision for where you want to take healthcare in Anguilla. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be poor. You don't have to be educated. But once you are alive, you will have some sort of health ailment. A trained, well-trained, well-educated Minister of Health in Anguilla, who is the Premier, who is the Minister of Finance, who is a Yale graduate, an Ivy League school, and you're going to tell me that homeboy, through his networking, cannot assist us in improving the quality of healthcare in Anguilla? And you're going to tell me that you want another 5 years? To do what? Your interest in politics, I can recall, more than a decade now. Because in 2015, when you were running, along with Herbert Stoddard, I got to remind my people that in the Vivian Vanterpool School, they brought down some individuals, whether they were doctors, nurses, or whatever, to do tests and all sorts of other things. You imagine that as a candidate, he brought them in. That's 2015. In 2020, he became the premier. He was the occupant of the highest elected office in this country. And it wasn't a coup. It wasn't a coup. The people of Anguilla, including me, had high hopes for healthcare in Anguilla. 5 years after, you must ask the question, did Dr. Webster deliver? You've got to ask it. He spoke about, they wanted him to go into lands and survey and look at the alien landholding license and so on. Dr. Webster, that was already done. I was Minister of Lands, and it was a way for us to find out to get in contact with all the alien landholding licensees in this country. They have a stake, and a lot of them are very wealthy. And I'm sure that with the 501c3 that we would have set up, once they do their verification, would have been able to contribute to it and claim it back. Dr. Webster knows, and this is tax time in the United States, April 15 is around the corner. He knows that even the tithes that you pay in your church, the contributions you make to Goodwill or Thriftway store, you can claim them. So imagine these individuals who have interest in Anguilla, who have property here, very wealthy, would do more. Would do more. And as I look across here, I see Central Polyclinic, and Cora mentioned it a little earlier, a number of projects that was underway. I have the shovel, the groundbreaking shovel at home. He cut the ribbon. He cut the ribbon. Under his administration, it was named Central Polyclinic. I don't have any issues with Central Polyclinic. But you know what that should have been named? MMT Polyclinic. And you know what the first M for? McNeil. You know what the second M for? You know what the second M for? Is Marvin Foster Rogers. And you know what the T is for? Tim Foy, who was the governor of Anguilla at the time. And thanks to Royal Vanterpool and Carl Richards local architects who designed that. And thanks to the local contractors who would have built it. He wouldn't want me to call his name. Thanks to Mr. Liebert and his crew and all the folks for the plumbing, the electrical, everything was done locally. And thanks, I must say, to Gary and Connie Sharp. He mentioned their names on the clip. I will mention them too. Thank you to the Sharps for the investment that they would have put in that facility there, the hospital, and all over Anguilla. And I am sure that they will continue to do that because they have this country at heart. Lorenza, as premier, should have been able to tap resources worldwide to help us here with our health services. Help us here with our health services. And he's going to talk about he needs another 5 years. Health will be a priority. Homeboy, you're trained in health. You're trained as a politician. You're trained in health. So you should have made health a priority from day one of your administration. Not looking for another term. Not looking for another term. But then again, you have to be very careful, because he has advisors. And watch this. Watch this. His advisor in finance and health is the candidate who is running against Shelia in District 3. He is the one who said to free District 3. That is the advisor to the Premier, Minister of Finance, and Minister of Health. And the intelligence and the accurate academic prowess of Lorenzo should not allow an advisor like Courtney to advise him. He shouldn't have allowed it. No wonder he and Courtney and his administration have failed the people of Anguilla. Failed them. And I've heard him said that, the senior shield and junior shield, Mr. Morton is a very, what do you call him, a pet bull, something. It's very, a senior shield. You're going to put the senior shield on Courtney? You got to be kidding me. No wonder no thought was put into it in terms of improving the quality of health care before you throw out the blanket. No wonder. Because if he's going to take advice from Courtney about the shield, then heaven help us all. Was Courtney advising his boss, the Premier, about the GST? Was Courtney advising his boss about the .ai? Was Courtney advising his boss how to deal with the Anglec issue? And watch this. You haven't heard a thing about Anglec issue, It gone quiet now because elections around the corner. You put them back in there, and Anglec will have more confusion than what is there now. Did he take advice? Did he take advice from Courtney with respect to firing the CEO, Mr. Hodge? Huh? No wonder there's such a tumultuous situation. And imagine, I heard a clip with what's her name, Quincy Marie, talking about the competency of Sutcliffe. Look here. Sutcliffe and I ran against each other in District 3. No animosity. But Quincy can't walk on the dust that Sutcliffe left behind in terms of competence. Can't walk on the dust. And I will go further. I will go further to say that not only Quincy, and none of them in government, not one of them in government can tie his shoestrings. It's all about Anguilla. Anglic is quiet. I am warning you. If you put this administration back in office, it won't stay quiet. You have an administration that is taking off GST now from everything. Why? Elections is the 25th and 26th. Why they didn't do it? Why they didn't reduce it or didn't put it on at all 3 or 4 years ago? What is around the corner? Elections. It's just a gimmick trying to fool you. And as Cora said earlier, in the House of Assembly, the Premier would have admitted that they probably need to pay the AUF for what their recommendations and suggestions as it relates to the GST. So I'm saying to the people in Valley North, and I'm saying to the people of Anguilla in general, you have a choice. It is yours. You decide the direction of this country on the 25th and 26th of this month. I am not going to compare and contrast Shelia with Courtney. I'm going to leave that alone. All I'm going to say is this. He got washed out 3 years ago, and he's going to get clean out again this time around. Outside. Clean out totally. Blatant failures. And if Courtney, but you imagine the advisor to the Minister of Finance and the Premier is saying, oh, what did Shelia do for District 3? Homeboy, you are the advisor to the Minister of Finance. What have you done in the 5 years that you were there for District 3? When your government is boasting and bragging on reserves and all of this sort of stuff, what have you done for District 3 that you ran twice, 3 counts? You ran twice and you want to run again? You sit next to the Premier and asking what Shelia has done? Something wrong. Something wrong. Go talk to your boss. Go advise your boss. Say to him, look, I'm going to run in District 3 because he's part of the team. Okay, let me see what we can do so that I can lift my profile in District 3 after getting washed out. So you got to put some investment in there so that I can say, oh, what it is. So Courtney is going to come and tell you, oh, you know, we did this, we did the airport, we did that, we did the other. And then going to ask what Shelia has done in District 3. Go look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. So it's a clear cut. And I have all the confidence in the world in my people in District 3. All the confidence in the world. All the confidence in the world. And I know that we in District 3, we're going down the line. We're not mixing and matching over here. We're going down the line. We have Jose, who is capable. You just heard from Jason Jose, Jason. We all know who Kyle is. And I'm here to help the entire team bring it home. That's what it is, to bring it home. That's what it is, to bring it home. To bring it home. There's another issue that I want to touch on briefly. Another issue. The issue about the Anguilla United Front will stop the airport and other projects. Cora mentioned it early, but I have to repeat it. Do you, the people of Anguilla, think that we are so irresponsible to stop the projects that are ongoing? When you look at the airport, as I mentioned some time before, the extension of it. 2005, they talk about the PCN. They did some work on it. The plans were always there for a terminal. Do aircrafts land on a terminal? No. So the runway has to be extended. The terminal has to be built. Do you put the egg before the chick? The egg before the fowl? No, the fowl got to lay the egg. So it is about planning and prioritizing. They have started it. It will and it must be finished. And the Honorable, you, the people of Anguilla, will have to give the Honorable Cora Richardson Hodge the opportunity to cut the ribbon just like they cut the ribbon for the projects that we had going. How are we going to stop it? Where are you going to stop it? Nonsense. My people are not that gullible to believe that anything that is going on in Anguilla, if we didn't support the approach, that we will stop it. Come on now. So when they come with that nonsense, you got to let them know. You completed and you cut ribbons for a lot of projects that you didn't start. And then I'll ask another question. Somebody, please give me one project that they have started or worked on in the last 5 years that was not already in train. One. Look for one project. One project to talk about. Please help me, because the next meeting, I would like to mention that. One project that they would have initiated that wasn't on the table before. One in the last 5 years. I can go on and on, but I'll take this opportunity to introduce a youngster who will introduce the Honorable Member for District number 3. Now, there is no comparison in terms of her opponent. I don't have to speak about Shelia. You don't have to know where Shelia is. All I would say is that I am absolutely proud and elated for the individual who prepared herself and has risen to the task. And mark you, prepare herself at the expense of the taxpayers and is back to represent them. Same thing with Jose. Same thing with Jose. Prepared themselves at the expense of you, the people. And they came back. They didn't have to, but they came back to be able to lead this country and move this country forward. Kahim, come on and introduce my representative in Valley North, your representative in Valley North, the people's representative, the Honorable Shelia Rogers Webster.
Good night, Anguilla! And I said, good night, District 3. Let me hear you, let me hear you. It is my extreme pleasure tonight, we stand in District 3 to welcome a woman of integrity, a woman that is our advocate in the next government of Anguilla, the Honorable Shelia Webster Rogers. District 3, make some noise. Make some noise for your representative, Shelia Rogers.
A woman on a mission, let her make a contribution to the nation. She's a woman of a word. Shelia Rogers Webster, no one can rep you better. You want a trend setter, you want a good leader. So on election day, V24 May, Valley North, District 3, Rally Road, let me hear you say who we voted.
Tonight. It is an honor and a privilege to stand as your candidate for re-election, and more importantly, as someone who has been deeply committed to serving this community long before I was elected 2 years ago. I recently heard my worthy opponent, Mr. Courtney Morton, say, it's time to free District 3.
It's time.
But I don't know where Mr. Morton does be, because District 3 doesn't need to be free, because District 3 is free forever.
It's time to free District 3. We free forever. It's time to free District 3. We free forever. It's
Hello, yellow.
Now you mean to tell me that Mr. Morton ain't out of order? Free District 3? Since when is District 3 behind bars? Out of order. That is an insult to the hard-working, sensible-minded, independent people of Valley North.
forever.
that he's tired. Well, guess what, Mr. Morton? If you're tired, stay home. Because District 3 has an energized, young, independent candidate who is ready to be re-elected. Imagine you out of office and elected and you done already tired. But then you ain't prepared for office. Because serving the people of this country and this district is a 24/7 job. And as you could see, Valinor don't elect tired bodies. Because the former representative of Valinor, Mr. Evans McNeil Rogers, jumping around like a spring chicken. So your former representative ain't tired. Your current representative ain't tired. Why you going to elect somebody who done already tired? Valinor, when I first took office 2 years ago, I promised to prioritize you, the people of Valinor. I promised that I would work hard to ensure that every single decision I made was in the best spirit of the community. I promised to listen and to try to help in times when you needed me most. Today, I stand before you, not only as your representative, but as your neighbor, as a mother, as a sister, and as a friend who has worked tirelessly for Valinor. Together, we have done amazing things. And yet, there is still so much to be done together. Allow me to quickly go through some of the things we have achieved since I have been in office. From the very beginning, I knew that strengthening the fabric of our community was at the core of my work. One of the most rewarding initiatives has been our Back to School Day, a program designed to help the children of Valinor start off the school year with confidence. Back to school is not just about providing school supplies. It's about showing our kids that we believe in their success and are willing to invest in their future. We offer them school supplies, haircuts, fun games, refreshments. And let me tell you something. When we initially started out, we catered in 2022 to 150 students. In 2024, last year, we served 300 students in Valinor. And we just getting started. We also hosted financial literacy workshops where we empowered members of our community with the knowledge and tools needed to make good financial decisions. I have heard countless stories, Valinor, of people who have been able to manage their finances more effectively and improve their financial well-being as a result of that workshop. I don't think it's a secret that education is like my baby. And you know why? When I was younger, one of the things that my mother always said to me, that education was the key to success. And that rang in my ears over and over. And I always promised myself, if I ever was put in a position to be able to give back, that I would always prioritize education. As someone who believes deeply in education, I have worked hand in hand with the schools in our district to ensure that our young people have every opportunity. That's exactly why I have contributed to the Valley Primary School, because while Valley Primary School is not in my constituency, there are many individuals in my constituency who attend Valley Primary School. And so when Valley Primary School calls, I answer. When they say they need awards for the CPA students, I respond. Everyone knows that Aurelia Kelly is very dear to my heart, as I grew up in the Stony Ground community and I attended that school. And I want to say this, long before elections, I made a contribution to Aurelia Kelly Primary School's graduation. And I didn't just decide to give one gift to the top student. I give a gift to every single student of the Aurelia Kelly Primary School. For well over 7 years, every single student graduating Aurelia Kelly Primary School gets a gift bag with a flash drive, pencils, pens, calculators, geometry sets, sewing kits, pencils, rubbers, all sponsored by Shelia Rogers Webster. So when Mr. Morton come with his forward talk about what I do for Valley North, you set the record straight and let him know that I continue to contribute to Valley North every opportunity I'm given. One of my most significant achievements was the negotiation and securing of the land for the new community center. This community center will become a hub where residents can come together and enhance the quality of life of everyone in the constituency. It will be a place of recreation, education, and support. A space where our community can gather and share experiences and create memories. And I'll pause here for a moment, because very recently, down the north side, Mr. Courtney Morton criticized me over the fact that over 1 year later, the community center has not yet been refurbished. But I want to give the audience some information. My gross salary is a little over 8,000 EC dollars. I take home 7,000 something dollars once deductions are made. I have no access to government resources. Any community events or activities you see is a combination of personal funds, community support from you, the individuals in my community. Mr. Morton, on the other hand, let's talk about that. Mr. Morton, who has never been elected to government, receives 9,000 EC dollars as an advisor to the premier, and at least another 3,400 as the deputy chair of ANGLEC's board. Over 12,000 EC dollars, but he's talking about what I do for Valley North. Imagine you making over $12,000 a month, but you have the heart to talk about me not being able to self-fund a project in our community when I make less than $5,000. He makes $5,000 more than me. What Mr. Morton, though, should have done in the last 5 years is see what he could have done to help make the community center in Valley North a reality. Because guess what, Valley North? The community center is not just for me. The community center is not for my home. The community center is for our people in Valley North. So if you care so much about Valley North, you care so much to serve the people of Valley North, why would you not assist in any way you can to enhance the quality of their life? So instead of criticizing me, Mr. Morton, he should ask himself, what has he done for Valley North over the last 5 years? To convince the people to elect you to office. But let me say this. When Mr. Morton pledges contributions to schools and community organizations, he should make sure he delivers, because he now has a reputation of giving his word on things and not coming up with the money. All facts. I guarantee you that no organization can say that I have ever committed anything to them and not delivered. Take, for example, Carnival. To date, the junior Calypsonians, some of them that are right up in Frontier in District 3, have not been paid. So, Mr. Morton, when you're talking about putting people first and free in District 3, you must give the junior Calypsonians what they deserve. But have no fear, my dear junior Calypsonians, because on March 1st, when I am in office and the Anguilla United Front is elected to power, we will ensure that you receive the money you deserve. Because in a world of sayers and talkers, we are doers. But District 3, that's not all. I've also made it easier for you to get access to me as your representative. I established a dedicated district line, a dedicated email address so that you can have access to me whenever you need me. I implemented complimentary passport application assistance. So anyone that's in Valley North is able to get the service of applying for a passport, a service that people have to pay sometimes over $100 for. And looking forward, as I seek to be re-elected in Valley North, we, the members of the Anguilla United Front, under the dynamic leadership of the Honorable Cora Richardson Hodge, we want you to know that we are committed to you. We are committed to supporting you unwaveringly. Our district's growth and prosperity and well-being are our top priority. We have you and the people of Anguilla at heart. We are committed to continuing to strengthen our community ties, ensuring that no person is left behind. We are committed to investing in our youth, ensuring that every child in Valley North has the opportunity to succeed in school and beyond. Imagine not having access to one government resource and still delivering for Valley North. Imagine Imagine having access to government's resources. Imagine. We are committed to creating more opportunities for education, financial independence, and career development. We are committed to pushing more resources to improve infrastructure, health, and safety. I am committed to remaining accessible to you because I understand without you, the residents of Valley North, there is no me as your representative. Valley North, I humbly ask that you elect the Anguilla United Front team back to office. We are committed to openness, transparency, a team that will not victimize those who have different political views. And let's talk about this. We will not victimize those who don't necessarily agree with our policy decisions because every Anguillian, no matter who you support, you deserve to live a happy, healthy, and carefree life. You see, when Briggy was fired without cause, I took that personal. When Heather Ritchie was fired without cause, I also took that personal. When Tommy Hodge was fired without cause, I took that personal. When Sutcliffe Hodge was fired without cause, I also took that personal. But listen good to this one. Listen real good. When the chairman of a telecommunications company in Anguilla was called and told that their local team was showing favoritism to District 3 and the funding was pulled from our program, I took that personal. So when Mr. Morton comes to your doorstep in District 3, ask him why he would allow his colleagues to take away funding from the students of Valley North for their back-to-school program. You see, the APM believes that if you take away my private sector funding for my back-to-school program, that it will not continue. But let me tell you, I got more funding last year than the previous year. And you know where that funding came from? Individual citizens in Valley North who believe in my vision. So no matter what you do, no matter who you call, no matter what funding you pull, Shelia Rogers Webster will find a way to get it done.
We free forever. We free forever.
That trend of victimization is associated over decades with none other than Mr. Hayden Hughes. A vote for Courtney Morton is a vote for Hayden Hughes.
We free forever.
You know that saying, when people show you who they are, believe them? If it's one person who has consistently shown us who he is, it is Mr. Hayden Hughes. He is an individual who has been consistently committed to divisiveness in and outside of the House of Assembly. He is the king of telling lies, degrading others, and orchestrating personal attacks. And Mr. Hughes has decided to set on me in particular But what Mr. Hughes didn't know is that the only person I fear is God Almighty. So when he come attacking and throwing his blows, I attacking and throwing my blows right back. A vote for Courtney Morton is a vote for Hayden Hughes. A vote for Courtney Morton is also a vote for the most biased and disrespectful Speaker of the House Anguilla has ever seen. Mrs. Barbara Webster Bourne. Any objective person watching the House of Assembly over the last 5 years can agree that we in opposition have been dismissed, disrespected, discredited, and denied the ability to appropriately represent the interests of our constituencies. Mrs. Webster Bourne would have contested elections before, and the people rejected her every single time. Yet she sits and denies us the opportunity to serve our people. Imagine me, a qualified, well-learned individual, giving my professional opinion in the House of Assembly and being told that I can't give my opinion because some consultant said that's not the way it should be. Well, guess what? Just the way the consultant is formally trained, I too am formally trained. People of Anguilla, people of Valley North, do not ever allow Barbara to see the corridors of the House of Assembly again. And you know why? You know why you mustn't allow that? Because she doesn't respect the position she holds. She doesn't understand that the house does not belong to her. The house does not belong to Hayden Hughes. The house does not belong to Quincy Gums Marie. It belongs to you, the people. And you, the people, get to decide who you want to serve you. A vote for Courtney Morton is a vote for Ellis Lorenzo Webster, who promised improve health care and has failed miserably to improve the quality of health care in this country. Instead, he has brought more bureaucracy to health care. He only visits the hospital and clinics for photo ops. And if I'm lying, he must tell me I'm lying. The only time that the staff in health see Dr. Webster is when people from overseas come and they have to take a tour of facilities and he gets his photos. As a matter of fact, health transitioned back under government over 10 months ago. And last week was the first time that Dr. Webster had a meeting with the entire staff of that department. Imagine. He has never and will never make health a priority in this country. And you know why I say this? He has had more money available to him to prioritize health than any other minister in the history of this country. But Dr. Webster doesn't have any excuses. Dr. Webster can't say, well, you know, I tried my best, but the Minister of Finance ain't helping. Because you know what? He is the Minister of Finance. He has no excuses. He can't say, well, you know, I lobbying, but the Premier doesn't see my vision for health. Because he is the Premier. So imagine, you are the Premier, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Health, a formerly trained doctor, and health is still on a downward spiral. I want to tell the hard-working healthcare professionals who continue to work under harsh conditions, who feel as though they are not represented, who feel as though their needs are not being heard. The Anguilla United Front is on its way. Valley North, we have an important task ahead of us. On the 25th and 26th of February, I want you to undertake that task boldly and elect the entire Anguilla United Front team. In District 3, I am counting on you to vote for Shelia Rogers Webster as your district representative. On the at-large side, I'm asking you to support the powerful, the well-trained, the community-minded, the Representative Jason Bryan. I'm also asking you to elect Kyle Hodge, the businessman, the person who stands on business every time. The individual who is not afraid. Kyle is unafraid to make tough decisions even when they are not popular. Kyle is not afraid to walk away from thousands of dollars for what he believes in. Because let me tell you, when I came into opposition, I took a 25% pay cut from my previous job, and that was tough. Kyle took over 60% pay cut. That is somebody who believes in the people. And then we come to Mr. Evans McNeil Rogers. An individual who has dedicated his life to service from the time he started in the Old Cottage Hospital. When COVID came and we were short of medical technologists to do testing, Mr. Rogers didn't stay like Dr. Webster and stay over in his office and hope for the best. He rolled up his sleeves, put on his lab coat, and went to work. Because in a world of doers, in a world of sayers, we are doers. And let me tell you, you're not going to see those pictures floating around. You're not going to see those pictures of Mr. Rogers floating around because Mr. Rogers isn't interested in photo ops. He's interested in working. And for the people asking why Mr. Rogers has returned, they need to ask why Dr. Webster returned, because he has delivered nothing. He has delivered absolutely nothing in health. Mr. Rogers is committed to focusing exclusively on health and improving the health care in this country. He will not be distracted. And then we have Mr. Jose Vanterpool, a powerhouse. One of the most intelligent and well-learned individuals in this country, without a doubt. Imagine having a resource like Jose with so much knowledge in AI and not utilizing and taking advantage of his skill sets because you don't want him to show you up. Imagine that. Anguilla United Front supporters, you have no excuses. You have 4 solid at-large candidates. You have 4 solid at-large candidates. You have people who are hardworking. Every last one of them formally trained in their fields. People who are committed to service, you got no excuses. We vote in all 5 down the line. A bird recently picked me today and told me that a certain green person has been moving around Valley North and telling the constituents that if you support him, he will join the Anguilla United Front Party. With all due respect, Mr. Richardson, we vote in all yellow. So Valley North, we know that you are lovely, hospitable people. So when they come by, you treat them well, you give them a hug, you give them a glass of water, juice, anything, but don't give them your vote. Because we vote in all 5.
Hello, yellow.
And before I leave you tonight, this is a numbers game. And if you want the Anguilla United Front to be successful, every vote that you give to someone else is a vote for the APM. Let me repeat that again. Every vote that you give to either an independent candidate or Art or anybody else is a vote that you are giving to the APM. So if you don't want the APM in power, vote all 5 down the line. Don't let election day meet you. Don't let the day after election meet you with regrets. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. The power is in your hands, you the people. This is a numbers game. And to the people, the Anguillians in the diaspora, because there's a lot of mixed information going on around. If your name is on the voters list, you have the right to vote in this country. So come back home. And don't let them fearmonger you and tell you you will be arrested and this and that and the other. You cannot be arrested from exercising your democratic right to vote in your country. Because if Dr. Webster's wife and children Because let me tell you about the hypocrisy. They tried to work with the governor's office to throw out the list and have an enumeration exercise within a year of election. And when they realized the law wasn't in their favor and they pulled back and they stopped, they tried all kind of other things to disenfranchise persons from voting. They even called a snap election the first time in decades. But guess what? The Anguilla United Front was ready. They announced elections shortly before 10 o'clock. By 3 a.m., the Anguilla United Front had all their new branding and their social media profiles. Because when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. If you are so secure in your seat, and if you are secure in the progress you claim to be delivering for the people, why would you call a snap election and give people less than 1 month to get home to vote? Give people less than 24 hours to register. Imagine. Let me break this down. Imagine you went to sleep relatively early, 8 o'clock. You didn't hear the announcement that elections were the next day. You get up early, you get yourself ready for work, you go down to the hospitality industry, you work from 7 to 7. Your phone is off, you don't have access to it. Only to go home at 7 o'clock and find out from your husband that he was trying to reach you to tell you that this was the last day to register to vote. Imagine. And let me tell you, that's not a made-up story. That's a real-life example of an individual in District 3 who wanted to register. But that's okay, because all you're doing is motivating people. Because the Anguilla United Front, irrespective of who you are voting for, we believe that you have the right to register to vote. You have the right to come home and vote. Imagine you talking about overseas voters, tourist voters, but you're taking yourself up to go to Martin to have a rally? But where are you going to Martin for? Where are you going to Martin for? You are going to St. Martin because there are worthy Anguillians in St. Martin who deserve the right to vote. So stop fear-mongering people. Stop encouraging the nonsense. You cannot be hypocritical. If you don't want overseas voters to come and vote, then why are you campaigning in other islands? But you want to fearmonger people who would potentially vote for the Anguilla United Front. But let me tell you something, Dr. Webster. The same night, there were people in District 3 that were so angry they bought their own tickets out of emotions the same night. They were so angry and disappointed that they made an emotional decision to purchase their tickets, and we are grateful. And in closing, I humbly ask for your continued support as we move forward together. Together, we can build a brighter future for Valley North and Anguilla. Together, we can continue to create opportunities and provide services and cultivate a vibrant and thriving community that all of us can benefit from. Valley North, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for always having my back. want to thank you for praying for me. I want to thank you for standing in the gap for me when I am tired. I want to thank you for showing up to my community activities and saying, how can I help? I want to thank you for believing in me. And I am humbly asking you to believe in my team just the way you believe in me. Valley North, on election day, we are voting Shelia Rogers Webster the Beacon. We are voting Jason Bryan the Beacon. We are voting Evans McNeil Rogers the Beacon. We are voting Kyle Hodge the Beacon. We are voting Joseph Vanterpool the Beacon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. Valley North, we voting. Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Three, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3.
No more Courtney. I have two at least people for sure that I know for sure that I don't want to see back in the corridors of power around here. I don't want to see Courtney around here. I don't want to see Deanne either in power either. So those two for sure. No more Courtney. I have two at least people for sure that I know for sure that I don't want to see back in the corridors.
Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? What can I say? I would just like to inform you that there is soups at the booth there, so you can go fish soup, chicken soup, and so on and so forth. I would also like to inform you that our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, this coming Monday, February the 10th at 7:30 p.m. down in Blowing Point, near Kirklees Place. So we'll be down there in our numbers. There is also the debates. The debates will also begin on Monday, the 10th, at the Teachers Resource Center at 6 p.m. And the debates for District 1 and District 2 will be done on Monday at the Teachers Resource Center. It seems as if though you all need to hear a little more of the candidates, you know. It's an encore. You will hear from her on Monday. You will hear from us on Monday. Thank you all for coming out. Keep it alive and remember, vote for the Beacon. 1 in the constituency and 4 at large. 1 in each constituency, District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, vote for the Beacon. And the 4 at-large candidates. Thank you all very much for coming out. Please be careful, drive safely. There is a live band that will be here to entertain you as well. There's a live band to entertain you, so you don't have to leave right away. Stay around and enjoy so that we can have conversations and so on. Okay? The vibes, atmosphere, the energy is all there. Thank you all very, very much.
For those of you who may not know, our campaign song, the Anguilla United Front campaign song, it was done by Yema. Yema is a young, successful, hard-working young man in the Valley North area. We are committed to putting the people first, Valley North. And so after this, after we are done, Yama and his team, his band will be entertaining us until we are ready to go home.
Welcome, Yama.
Valley North, we thank you for the support. We want to keep you encouraged. We're keeping this momentum straight down to election day.
At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day,
Time to
Shelia
free
all the way.
District
At the end of the day,
Be free.
Shelia all the way. At the end of the day,
It's time to free
Valley North we
District
voted.
3.
Shelia,
Be free.
Shelia,
Be free.
Shelia,
Be free. Be free.
No more Courtney. I have two at least people for sure that I know for sure that I don't want to see back in the corridors of power around here. I don't want to see Courtney around here. I don't want to see Deanne either in power either. So that those two.
Shelia Rogers Webster, no one can rep you better. You want a trend setter, you want a good leader. So on the election day, the 24th of May, Valley North, District 3, rally round, let me hear you say who we voting. Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. Valley North, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. Valley North, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, are you ready? For a leader, a true visionary. She's brilliant, caring, capable, humble, committed to the task and steady. Valley North, she is what you deserve. Hardworking, willing to serve. A woman on a mission, let her make a contribution to the nation. She's a woman of her word. Shelia Rogers Webster, no one can rep you better. You want a trend setter, you want a good leader. So on the election day, the 24th of May, Valley North, District 3, rally round, let me hear you say who we voting. Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. Valley North, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. Valley North, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, are you ready? For a leader, a true visionary. She's brilliant, caring, capable, humble, committed to the task and steady. Valley North, she is what you deserve. Hardworking, willing to serve. A woman on a mission, let her make a contribution to the nation. She's a woman of her word. Shelia Rogers Webster, no one can rep you better. You want a trend setter, you want a good leader. So on the election day, the 24th of May, Valley North, District 3, rally round, let me hear you say Shelia all the way.
Yo.
At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. Valley North, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. Valley North, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, are you ready? For a leader, a true visionary. She's brilliant, caring, capable, humble, committed to the task and steady. Valley North, she is what you deserve. Hardworking, willing to serve. A woman on a mission, let her make a contribution to the nation. She's a woman of her word. Shelia Rogers Webster, no one can rep you better. You want a trend setter, you want a good leader. So on the election day, the 24th of May, Valley North, District 3, rally round, let me hear you say, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. End of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. Valley North, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way.
Yo, check.
At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. Valley North, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia,
Mm.
Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, are you ready? For a leader, a true visionary. She's brilliant, caring, capable, humble, committed to the task and steady. Valley North, she is what you deserve.
Check.
Hardworking, willing to serve. A woman on a mission, let her make a contribution to the nation. She's a woman of her word. Shelia Rogers Webster, no one can rep you better. You want a trend setter, you want a good leader. So on the election day, the 24th of May, Valley North, District 3, rally round, let me hear you say, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. District 3, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. At the end of the day, Shelia all the way. Valley North, who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia. Who we
Check.
voting? Shelia,
Check.
District 3, who we voting? Shelia,
Yo.
Shelia. Who we voting? Shelia, Shelia, Shelia.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Check, 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 check. I need all the beacons to the front. We are to celebrate. All beacons to the front. That's right. Show me your beacons. I wanna see some beacons. 5 beacons, 5 beacons, your beacons. I wanna see some beacons. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I wonder where some y'all study around here. See them argue over man where them a share. See them a worry about where next y'all are weird. Rather see them need to do them here. Do you hear? The kind of life is see them living round here. Sometimes it's sorry for this, when them are wow.
It's a party! All the beacons step to the front. We gonna have a big party tonight so we can shine the beacons bright, 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 bright. Hey! What? I wanna give it to you. Check, 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 check.